Hi, beautiful Earth Sign Collective. Welcome back to New World Angel. Today is the day where we do your reading. So, let's see. Yeah, Earth signs. We love them. Love them. You guys are so practical by nature. It's necessary. Also very work oriented. But perhaps you're a little out of sorts in this fire energy that we're in. What do I want to do? Okay, yeah, we're going to do this. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. That's what I'm speaking to. This can be your sun sign, of course. Everyone knows that. But I would highly encourage you to go and do a free birth chart reading if you haven't already, to understand what your moon and rising signs are. You do need to know your exact time of birth and where you were born. If you don't know where to get one of those, you can go over to newworldangel.com, and under education, I have a link to a website where you can get a free birth chart reading. So yeah, I would strongly encourage you to do so and listen to those messages, and you might get a better understanding of what's going on with you. So, all right, we're doing earth signs. Man, the water signs, it was heavy on water. That was a very somewhat specific reading. Somebody had passed away, so if you're dealing with that right now, I'm sorry to hear that, first of all. But you might want to check out the water sign reading. It's the one that'll be posted right before this one. Okay, what's going on? I want current baseline energy for my collective of earth signs, and then I'm going to pull an energy for the where you need to get to that'll help you in your forward movement. Okay, earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Cap. Where are my earth signs right now? What's the collective's baseline energy when it comes to my earth signs? Gemini, I think. Number 15. Gemini rules the third house. Third house let me show you the card. Third house corresponds to communication, higher knowledge, contracts, quick wit, able to think on your feet, even adaptability in your thought processes, and that sort of like in an outward way too. Super smart, analytical. Maybe you're like a financially driven earth sign, meaning that like you're just like highly focused on finances at this time. I apologize, I have a velo in right now, so if I'm talking weird, that's why, because I'm trying not to spit it out. Okay, we like that for earth signs. You don't want to stay in this I think mentality, but you're deep in thought, deep in contemplation regarding what, I don't know, but let's see we'll get into it. I'm sure the reading will. What sort of energy does my earth sign collective, what energy do we want to get them into to help them with their forward movement? If you guys are deep in thought, consideration, possibly renegotiation, We did come out of Mercury retrograde. Reconsideration. Reconsideration of the facts. Reconsideration of your circumstances, possibly. I don't know. But learning something new. And then fast forward movement, lots of messages. What energy does my Earth sign collective need to get into? What's going to be most helpful for them in their forward movement? 7th house of partners. 7th house. This is romantic relationships. It's number 31. I get stabilizing partnerships, even and partnerships doesn't have to necessarily be like romantic relationships, even though the 7th house does deal with romantic relationships. I more or less get like reconsideration of your connections and correspondences to those around you. Maybe even thinking back through your relationships with people, or like what you want to create in your partnerships going forward, like a reestablishing close partnerships, even like cultivating close partnerships, romantically or otherwise, or in business. Yeah, I just get a lot of reconsideration, or just consideration in general, possibly regarding work. Okay. 7th house is ruled by it's Scorpio. Yeah. Death and rebirth. Reestablishing, reconsideration. Sex, money, possessions, other people's money. How you go about getting money and who you team up with. Okay. That's where you need to get into, is reestablishing partnerships and reconsideration of those closest to you. But deep in thought though right now. Okay. It's not bad. Let's see. Let's just get into my cards. I didn't do this. I don't know if I did this for fire signs. I think I did. I definitely didn't do it for water signs though. There was enough energy there that I was able to just get right into tarot, but I want to see what's going on with earth signs right now. Give us the full scope of what's going on with them. Are we in Taurus season already? We are. End of April. Wait. Yeah. Aries. We're in Taurus. Wait. Yeah, we're in Taurus season. Well, happy birthday, Taurus. Yeah, this is your this is like a rebirth for at least Tauruses. It's the beginning of essentially like your new year is how I consider birthdays. What's going on with earth signs in my collective? Maybe you're just not clear on something. Maybe that's why you're thinking so much, because even the energy right now for me, it's not the clearest. Like, it's a little muddled. Maybe Maybe you're just thinking too much consideration. Whatever it is, what you know is 100% correct, though. And maybe that's what's got you in your head. Arson? Fire? Maybe it's just got you fired up. It doesn't actually have to mean like arson in your energy. Something's blowing up though. And it doesn't have to be like an actual physical, like, you know, explosion. Emotional immaturity. Oh, maybe somebody is blowing up and that's what's making you reconsider these partnerships and alliances. Alliances is what I get. Around and around we go. Same shit, different day. Yeah, you already see this. You already know what's coming, essentially, with the people that you deal with. Ascension symptoms around and around. Maybe ascending through that due to your reconsideration. Maybe even regarding like your life partner too. Number 4, regarding home. Hopefully nobody went through like a situation where your home caught fire. There are fires currently going on in the southeast portion of the United States, like in Georgia and Florida. We have like unprecedented drought. Although I think like rain is in the forecast, like currently. Retirement. Considering retirement? Retiring this relationship, maybe? You've walked through the shadows. Trust yourself right next to what you know is 100% correct. So don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt what you know. Possibly even regarding arson. Depth. Still waters run deep. Urgent care. Somebody having to seek urgent care? Maybe you've outgrown this person. And that's what like you're thinking and reconsidering everything. A verdict will go in your favor right next to arson. Being awarded something due to a fire? Insurance payout, possibly? What else is going on in my Earth Sign Collective? Brand new love. Yeah, I feel like you turned a corner because you were just going around and around with this person, and now you're even considering like possibly like what it would be like with a brand new like love interest. And partnerships did pull out, and that's the 7th house of like lifelong partner, like a life partner. Someone would love to hear from you. Quick rise to fame. Passenger princess. A verdict will go in your favor regarding a passenger princess. So somebody who just feels like they're owed stuff in the world. Or maybe you're just along for the ride and you're kind of watching all this shit go down. Give us more on Earth Sign Collective. What do they need to know? You were meant to be a protector. Collective? Were you supposed to protect somebody like your life partner and you didn't? Yeah, I get something blowing up. Country settings. In a country setting. Maybe you just took a trip to the country. Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Maybe you are in Georgia. Ask that everything comes to you in the path of least resistance. This is right next to arson. A verdict will go in your favor. Ask that everything comes to you in the path of least resistance. Generational wealth will find you, especially next to this brand new love. Somebody you haven't gone around and around with. Special forces? I get like special forces are at work, not necessarily like the military, although the military could be involved. But special forces, like higher forces, are at play because it falls in line with ascension symptoms. Like rising to new heights, quick rise to fame. It's beyond repair at this point, but they can try. I think that's what you already know. It's beyond repair at this point, but they can try. Move forward with faith. You won't have all the answers. Flying monkeys. Hero, heroine. Maybe you're a hero or heroine of your own story. And that's what will give you this quick rise to fame. I don't know. What else? Piece by piece, layer by layer, one step at a time. Earth signs are really good at diligence, one step after another. Slow but steady progress. You may feel like things are moving incredibly slow, but they're about to pick up. Especially regarding partnerships. NPCs. Non-player characters at play here. Whether your grandmother is alive or not, she's with you. And she's the one that's telling you generational wealth will find you. She's the one who's helping you pull this in. You don't see this miracle coming. You may feel like this is the end of the road or that things are just totally up in the air, but it's a miracle and it's heading your way. Dauntless. Yeah, you need to go forward in this next chapter with bravery. Acts as city protectors, guards, takes risks, wears black. Huh, isn't that funny? Amity. Amity. Okay, well, apparently I can't speak today. The virtue. Peacefulness, grows food, lives in peace, wears red or yellow. feel like those are just the energies that you're embodying. Outside of like thinking, like it's peaceful thinking, living in peace, harmony, or at least that's what you want to get to, especially regarding like a life partner. Like you want peace and happiness. And somebody that you can grow generational wealth with. But you definitely don't see this miracle coming. Again, the reading suggestion I did, so this is my third reading today, and the first reading I did pulled this reading suggestion of the untethered soul. Maybe you should listen to the reading that was before this one, two before this one. Awards and accolades. Okay, cool. Let's see. Only because we have partnerships out here and miracles, like this miracle that you're not seeing. Something about the Divine Tarot is calling me. I guess, what's going on? I guess, what's left remaining that the collective needs to be aware of that would be helpful in regards to like their partnership world? What's currently going on that they can't see when it comes to partnerships? I guess I'll take it. The High Priestess. This is what you know is 100% correct. The High Priestess is Pisces energy. She's the mystic. She's the intuitive, maybe very spiritually tapped in, which it seems like you are. And for an earth sign, that's actually a little odd for an earth sign to be tapped in. Normally, like, you're so focused on like what's here now directly in front of you, but for whatever reason, you're really, this is you, like you're really pulling on her qualities, seeing through the illusions, like you see the bigger picture now. She's also super reflective. This is the I think as well. Yeah, reconsideration of life partners. Sort of seeing the bigger picture. Maybe you don't know all the facts and details about, especially when it comes to this miracle that's heading your way. But you certainly knew something before your time. Maybe before it was even ready to be heard. You know, the High Priestesses have a tendency, I always consider the High Priestess the Melisandre. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, she's the lady in red. She's the one who, like, she's spoken riddles a lot. And it was just kind of like always sort of like her messages were always shrouded in like rhyme. And it was up to the listener to sort of understand what that meant. And most of the time, it didn't mean anything until much later on. That's why High Priestesses are always misunderstood for the most part in the very beginning, or they're looked at in a way that it's like they can be easily misunderstood because she knows who to give information to and who not to give information to, if she's a High Priestess in the upright. And we don't know that just yet, but I definitely get like you seeing something a little bit more clearly, which in turn is making you be a little bit more reflective about like your partnerships in this lifetime. Yeah, you knew the truth. This was like a lightning strike almost. You understanding now, seeing everything. Well, maybe not everything, but like what you know is 100% correct. Especially in regards to something like blowing up, whether in your world or somebody else's world. Shit's like hitting the fan. And it could even be by way of like an actual fire, which I hope not, but it could. 8 of Coins. You know the truth about what somebody did, like regarding their work. How they got their money. Even like fearful of losing this money. Like, look, she's guarding it. Like with her life. Could be like resource guarding too. Trying to retain what they feel like is theirs by way of arson, especially if an insurance fraud is a part of this. I didn't even mean to say fraud. I meant to say like an insurance payout. Insurance fraud is significant. Knight of Cups. This is you, like, moving forward with this knowledge. Maybe apologetic for how it got to this point, even. Like, what started off as something so innocent sort of blew up into this is what I get. The Lovers. Yeah, this is your reconsideration of like your past actions. Possibly even greed, you know, like how greed factored into this. Sort of like dancing with the devil a little bit. Maybe you didn't realize you were dancing with the devil. Like you thought it was just innocent and it wasn't. So that is what you needed to know. Let's just clarify real quickly. Tell us about the High Priestess, what we need to know about her. What did the collective see correctly? You called something. You said something. And it was before your chime. 10 of Wands. This was a heavy burden for you to carry. Like you knew the truth about the situation before it even happened. And no matter how hard you may have tried to forewarn people, it's not up to you to ensure that they actually get the messages and do the right thing. So you carried the burden of this. It was hard. Yeah, that's your connection to source. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, man. I'm telling you, like, people think that having spiritual gifts or like at least knowing something, but like having the intuition to know that going in a certain direction isn't going to be a good thing. It's hard when it comes to like mystics and spiritual leaders and guides to have this information and then go so far as to actually express it, only for that information to fall on deaf ears. Do you know how hard that is to carry that burden? I mean, I do. And I would assume you do too. But that's why you're afforded these gifts, is because you are able to retain this information without it I'm not saying it didn't affect you, because I'm sure it did, but especially like if you cared for these people too, you know, these seventh house partnerships, lifelong partnerships. Yeah, that was a big burden that you carried for a really fucking long time. Knowing the truth. And then seeing how they reacted towards you knowing the truth. That's even harder. It's like, I'm only trying to tell you this in your best interest. You know, not everyone can hold that sort of power. That's why not everyone is afforded spiritual gifts. Not only do they not have the ability to retain the information and speak it at the right time to the right people, or even understand what it is that they're, you know, the messages that are coming in, but to then sit with it too, sit with the knowledge. Like, can you imagine Melisandre? She knew what was going to happen in Game of Thrones. She knew shit was going like fire and ice, and the Ice King was going to make his way back and fucking drag. Like, she knew all of this. She was forewarning people. She had to sit with that for years while people just like willy-nillyed around and were just like, blah, you know, doing their own thing. And she was just like, this is the direction we need to head in. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, I'm telling you. All right. Tell us about this Ace of Swords. What did the High Priestess know? It's something in regards to your family, too. Yeah, it's the ties that bind. The Chariot. You knew that this was your purpose. Or at least like you're on your purpose, speaking the truth, stating the truth, communicating what your mission is. I think you're very clear on that now. Clear on the mission. Like, you fully understand now. You have a full understanding of the direction that you are heading in. You knew this all along. And speaking up, saying something, a verdict will go in your favor. That was your mission, and you did it. What about this Eight of Coins? Talking about this resource hoarding, this money, assets. You know, something generational wealth building type. Something that could have set you on your mission sooner. You were aware of it. What about this Eight of Coins for our earth signs? Yeah, you gathered up your shit and were like, I see what's going on here. You said what you needed to say, which set you on your mission. You were using, like, you were deep in thought about this. You changed your perspective on those that were like lifelong partnerships of yours, like essentially family, those that you called family, and what they were doing in terms of like hoarding away something, or like shielding you from what was rightfully yours based on your work, your hard work, your efforts. You know, seeds that you planted. And so you walked away. because you saw all of this very clearly for yourself. And then you went into hermit mode. This totally set you down a path of like reconsideration all across the board. You know, like you started looking back at everything in your life, reconsidering every move, every conversation that you may have had with people, only for them to not disclose the truth, or for you disclosing the truth for them not to grasp onto that and do the right thing. Yeah, you walked away. You sort of secluded yourself. You could still be in seclusion. What about this Knight of Cups? Possibly somebody younger than you. This could even be like your child. Water signs. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. What about this Knight of Cups? This child. Maybe this is even money that was withheld from you since you were a child. Or money given to you as you were a child that you are now aware of. Knight of Cups for Earth signs. Why is this here? Seven of Wands. Defending your stance. A verdict will go in your favor. Fighting on behalf of your child, or fighting for a child. Hopefully no one's kid like started a fire. That would be awful. Or whatever a child may have done possibly is like blowing up. Or maybe you're just dealing with somebody who's like emotionally immature. Emotional immaturity. Possibly both. I mean, a child is emotionally immature because they're a child. You know, they're still learning. What about this Knight of Cups, Seven of Wands? I want one more on this. Or this child like had to defend themselves. Like stand up for themselves. The Magician. This is Gemini energy. Maybe this child has been like having to defend themselves for quite some time. But they tried to make things go into their favor and it's blowing up in their face. They tried to do something. Or you tried to do something. I think maybe you tried to express what was going on to somebody and they acted childish and then went and did something that blew up in their face is sort of what I get. What's the Lovers? Again, Gemini energy. I got double Gemini out on the table. What's up with the Lovers? This is regarding one of your soul ties, somebody like a close family friend or life partner. King of Coins. No, this was like a business. No, you chose this business. You chose, okay, so the lover, this lover chose money. What did I say earlier? Greed. In regards to a child, they chose money and they chose to go in this direction, start this business, do this by way of trying to support, I would think, a child. You know, like support their life with a baby. But you walked away, collective, like, you see all this very clearly now. What about the Lovers, King of Coins? Like, you definitely chose. This lover chose operating this way, going in this direction, and you chose to leave the situation behind. Give me one more on this lover, King of Coins. And now you have to sit in it, you know? Two of Cups. Yeah. This is business and relationship. But you saw all this. I don't know how grandmother factors into all of this. Maybe you're just really close with your grandmother, or your grandmother just sits very closely with you and is helping bring this miracle in. But what you saw and what you said in regards to like what the closest people around you did and have been doing, for quite some time, like since you were like a child, I feel like, is what made you choose yourself and to find like partnerships that truly value you and value what you have to say, value your truth, value your storyline, stand up for your storyline, you know? Support you on this mission. Okay. We'll do, no. Earth Sign Collective. So this was like what's going on that potentially like you don't see, right? Like that was like what did you need to be aware of? And I think what your grandmother or spirit is trying to tell you is that like your intuition's 100% correct, so you can just, you know, lay that to rest, especially regarding your close relationships, those that have been with you like your entire life, essentially. Reevaluation of all of that. Apparently there's a lot of NPCs. Layer by layer, piece by piece, you're getting the full scope of everything. It's kind of left you like, yeah, it took you off guard. As it would if you're like, oh, I've just been completely backstabbed and like run over by those closest to me because of greed. Cool. And it was like an open book test. You gave these people an open book test and they still fucking failed. How embarrassing is that? You gave them all the signs, all the synchronicities, all the messages. You did that. It's beyond repair at this point, but they can try. You're moving on. Tell us what, can you give us any information on this miracle coming? I think Spirit wants to keep it a surprise, but we'll just see. Give us like something. Can you give us anything about the future and this miracle? We won't give it all away, but like, King of Pentacles. Earth sign energy. Good business owner, very practical by nature, like very focused on like your home, your foundation, stabilizing things, getting your shit in order, especially if this upheaval was just like, you know, totally threw you off guard, like you're getting back on your throne and just sort of, you know, reassessing. But I definitely get like, definitely a feeling of, yeah, pulling your shit back together and like getting back to work. Like getting back into the right mindset for you. Because you've been so up in your head about all of this that like, excuse me. Bless me. No, this is brand new love with the King of Pentacles. Can't even be, yeah, because Page of Cups. Can't even be the birth of a baby. If you want to, I mean, if you like are wanting a baby in your life, potentially, that could be in the future, but like, I just get brand new love with this King of Pentacles. Okay, what else about the future? Work and love. What did I say before? Work and love. Literally work and love, and you love what you do. You're passionate about it. There's a lot of earth, like a lot of material. This is the generational wealth will find you. A lot of material gain. Being a business owner too. Maybe you just started a business or something, but it's going to take off. Like just head down, focus. Apprenticeship even, like getting to a point to where like you can even like teach people. Queen of Pentacles. You got a life partner headed your way, my friend. And a grandmother is bringing this in. What else about this miracle and brand new love? King of Pentacles. Oh, this is going to be so emotionally fulfilling. And it's going to balance you out. It's going to balance them out too. Like you're going to feel so good about this. Very romantic is what I get. Has a lot of love for you. Or just like appreciates like what you do too. And I feel like your work balances you out too. And whatever it is that you do, like you invest a lot of time and energy into it, and it brings about like healing, especially if you are a high priestess. Maybe you're a tarot reader just like me. It brings you fulfillment and joy and lots of healing energy too. What else about you don't see this miracle coming? The Hierophant in reverse. Let me clarify this. Because I get that, like, I get somebody's been dethroned. Somebody who was once held in a position of power, who was looked up to in a spiritual sense, like in a community organization, they have fallen from grace. Like they're no longer the head honcho. You know, they've been like, can be a Cancer energy. I get that this person, like, this person that fell from grace, they refused to see the bigger picture. They refused to see, like, your spiritual gifts. Like, acknowledgement, even. And that is why shit's blowing up in their world, because it was an open book test and they fucking failed. It's like God can't give you anything else other than like a high priestess who's trying to tell you what's going on, and you just refuse because you think you're God. Yeah, like you think you know everything. Please. I get narcissistic. Like, the power got to their head. Went straight to the dome, you know? I was like, okay. What else? Yeah, did not see the signs clearly at all. Thought that they could play in the energy is what I get. Yes. Now they're carrying the burdens. See how that worked? You, collective, were carrying these burdens, and now it's falling on the Hierophant in reverse. Now they see that they're not God. They don't have the ability to change karma. Possibly even loss of their spiritual gifts, too. They certainly lost their position. Like, they're fucking found out, that's for sure. That's why a verdict will go in your favor. Yeah, that's a major fall from grace, too. What else? What else that in regards to this miracle? Pull from a different deck it wants me to. Only because we have like a really good, evenly yoked relationship on the table, like brand new love. I want to pull from the what is this? Sexual tarot. Let's just see. Let's get the, I guess, what other messages, especially from this grandmother? What say you, grandmother, in regards to the future for the collective, for our earth signs? What say you? Nine of Swords. I get like a little bit fearful of being seen. Maybe you're even like fear of truly being seen. Like fear of being too wounded by what's happened in the past that like it stops you from moving forward. But this person, like, they don't care. Like, they're into it. The Nine of Swords. Yeah, maybe like a lot of hurtful things from the past. You know? Stuff that was said. Okay, what else? These are two different energies, by the way. Well, three really. First, you have brand new love. Then you have the person from the past, those that are under reconsideration, that you have either removed or considering removing, the ones that made you bear the burden of, you know, a lifetime, basically. It's beyond repair at this point, but they can try. Now this situation over here, and the third energy is this Hierophant, this leader who's now bearing the burdens themselves of what they tried to have you hold. Yeah. Maybe like you just said so many hurtful things trying to get people to listen to you, that you feel like it's too far gone with the people of the past. But what about the future in regards to this miracle? Temperance. You'll heal from that. You both will. Especially if you can like talk about it in a meaningful, different way now. I just get like the two of you will be on the same page, that you'll be able to heal from your respective paths together. The more you can sort of communicate and release the harshness from the past. Maybe you were just so guarded because like you've just been so wronged by those closest to you that it kind of shut you down. I mean, you did go in hermit mode. What else about this miracle and new love? Death. Death and rebirth. Yeah, you're gonna come out of this like new, whole, but like a better whole, like a better redefined version of yourself with this partnership. And with the foundation of like strong communication, good communication skills will heal the both of you. We'll sort of rebirth this in a different way. Like not reignite the flames, but quality communication about what you each have respectively gone through. I feel like will be super healing. And will allow this rebirth to sort of happen. What else in regards to this miracle in the future for our collective? And not shying away from the details either. I don't get that this person is going to, like, they're going to want to know the details. They're going to want to understand this, like, fully. And I think that's the healing part for you, especially as a high priestess, because you're the type of person that, like, all you want is to communicate the truth. You did communicate the truth. It fell on deaf ears, but this person is going to want to hear it. They're going to want to know the details. They're going to ask you questions about it. And that's going to be healing for you because it's an equal give and take. And vice versa, you know, like, high priestesses don't even have to say anything to really understand somebody else, especially if like you're equally yoked and this is like a potential life partner for you. You're just going to understand, but you're going to be inquisitive too. Seven of Swords. Maybe you already know this person in some sort of way, and you guys are just sort of like it's a new love, but perhaps like what you're still going through or what you have gone through in the past, it's still affecting you in some sort of way, communication wise. So much so that maybe you guys feel a little bit separate but together. You know, the communication is what's going to be healing for this. Yeah, like communicating what you were in the dark about that you're no longer in the dark about. You know? Communicating that with somebody who truly cares to hear. Eight of Wands. Yes, that's the communication. This is just like whatever you two are going through. It's a little road bump. Totally. Maybe it doesn't feel like a little road bump to you guys, but like this is the underlying energy. Like once you guys sort of like communicate through this, work through it, like discuss it, truly get to the bottom of it. I mean, it's game over. It's like there's a lot of passion here, for sure. I feel like this person is like trying to, I would love to hear from you. They're trying to communicate with you already. And as a high priestess, that can be through like telepathic communication even. Seven of Wands. Yeah, I just feel like from like what you both have gone through, like what you both have gone through separately, but like respectively together, your storylines, like it'll bring you two together with like a different level of closeness that maybe you haven't experienced before. And this is in regards to like brand new love, I made this card, and my angels and ancestors know I made this to be very distinct in the fact that like you have not met this person. It's not somebody that you go around and around and around with in the past. No. It's the end of the old and the beginning of the new. This is like a long time coming. Like a closure of the past. Yeah, this rebirth is just so healing. It's healing all the past like manipulations and like NPCs that just like got in the way. Got in the way of like the two of you like having a quality conversation around just like maybe what each other wanted or wants. Maybe you got the wrong idea initially about this person because of what you've been through. Two of Swords. It's beyond repair at this point, but they can try in regards to the past. And that's you deciding, like you fully decided to close the past out. And that is why not only is that a miracle, but also like the world is opening up for new miracles because of how many people like you've removed. How many cords you've cut. Those reevaluations were necessary in your life. Ace of Pentacles. New beginning. Business venture. Investment. Time, energy, and attention. Like quality time, energy, and attention is what comes with this. Well, I did not see this coming in this reading. I don't think I knew where it was going, but it seems very much like just reevaluating really those closest to you and whether they're NPCs or not, whether there's somebody like you want to bring forward or not. But either way, like your grandmother is right by your side and she's kind of like snickering about like, you don't see this miracle coming. And I also feel like they purposely didn't go into as much detail about the future because they want to keep that somewhat of a surprise because it is a miracle. And like the High Priestess needs to be surprised. If she knows everything about everything or like, you know, is very intuitive and like psychic, and even if like you're a seer, then some things have to be a surprise. And I feel like this was like a reiteration of like the past, where you've come from, what you've closed out, but also somewhat of like currently what you're dealing with and where you're headed. But it did not get into like the miracle. I know that for sure. But I think overall, like, maybe what you're not expecting is like how healing this relationship is going to be. And that's all they're willing to give me. So, with that being said, I really hope this was helpful for you guys and got you excited about the future. Definitely go check out your moon and rising signs if this did not resonate with you, or like if you're not reevaluating close partnerships in your world. Definitely check out your other signs. And I will see you guys again. I think I did water, fire, earth, so what's left is air. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You guys are next. All right, guys, I love you. See you soon. Bye.